Welcome.
So, Wakaru was on RWA.
Essentially putting traditional assets onto the blockchain. We have seen JP Morgan have their own blockchain Onyx. I do believe they will get involved with RWA.
Hello and welcome to Voice of Crypto, a podcast where we talk about crypto, Web3, NFT, metaverse and everything in between. And today we are going to talk about a very interesting category which, according to me, again not a financial advice, will lead the next bull run. And there has been a lot of anticipation around this category. A lot of projects have been building around it. It started somewhere last year, which is, I feel it's really a good use case of blockchain rather than just selling a monkey JPEG on NFT. So I would like to welcome Ezra here from Wakaru.
Welcome. Very happy to be here. So as Abhishek mentioned, my name is Ezra, founder of Wakaru, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you a little bit more about real world asset tokenization and a little bit more about my company.
Amazing. So Ezra, this is a question which I ask everyone who comes from my podcast is, do you remember that incident or that accident which happened to you, which pushed you towards Web3? Because I'm sure when you were a kid, you never thought of getting into Web3 because there was no Web3 at all. So 100%. Do you remember that moment clearly, and what has been your background before getting into Web3?
So I actually started sort of investing just in traditional assets, in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I never thought I would delve that deep into Web3, in all honesty. I think the period where I've kind of like locked in was probably during the pandemic, whereby I'm at home for considerable amount of time, had a lot of spare time, and that's when I sort of delved deeper into the ecosystem, starting with Axie Infinity. And I think from there I haven't really looked back.
Interesting. And what are you building at Wakaru? What is Wakaru all about?
So Wakaru started off as a blockchain consultancy company. Since then we've also built other product solutions as well. So we've got a blockchain consultancy, which is essentially an arm whereby we help governments, startups, enterprises actually build blockchain solutions. In addition to that, we've built a real estate tokenization platform, which will be one of our first product offerings. And then as well as that, we've got a crypto automated salary payment solution. And then on top of that, we've got a Web3 learning course similar to like Coursera, that type of thing, but purely for Web3.
And what does Wakaru means?
So Wakaru is derived from a Japanese word, which means to understand. So the whole sort of like product brand of Wakaru itself, all of the product names, Okane means wealth, Chingin means salary. So we've kind of kept that theme throughout the products. Yeah.
So Wakaru was on RWA. Did I say it right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, Wakaru.
What is RWA?
So RWA, real world assets, is essentially a buzz term at the moment, in all honesty, but it is a concept that's going to be extremely popular coming into the next bull cycle, which we're pretty much in at the moment. But it's obviously going to get a lot more ramped up as the Bitcoin halving comes in April. So real world assets is essentially putting traditional assets onto the blockchain, and this can be anything. This can be things such as real estate, this can be bonds, traditional assets, and essentially providing further liquidity by putting them on the blockchain.
So which has a real value, something which has a real value which can be put on blockchain. Is that what you mean to say? Exactly.
And this can be a range of different assets, but with the Okane solution, we're going to be starting with real estate.
And Ezra, and also to all my audiences, as I said, there are a lot of projects who are trying to build on RWA.
100%.
So what is that is specific, what is that is unique about Wakaru, which you guys are trying to build, and what differentiates you from the other players in the market currently?
100%, very good question. So what we've done at Wakaru, we've identified this trend, and we want, as a brand, we want it to be as exclusive to as many people as possible. So what we've done with our real estate tokenization platform, we've put a minimum fee of $10. So what we've observed in the market is there is a lot of real world asset platforms at the moment. However, the barriers to entry are still pretty high. So what we've done is we've reduced this, making it $10, whereby we believe with the third world countries that are really prominent in this crypto market, we don't want to exclude them. So by making it a minimum of $10, we believe we're going to be able to invite a lot more people into the ecosystem.
Interesting. And in terms of RWA or your real estate tokenization, how does Wakaru ensures compliances? Because compliances has been a major concern for blockchain and crypto, and when you mix real estate and blockchain, I think that's really a ticking time bomb. So how are you trying to resolve these regulatory issues here?
100%. So one thing that we did go back and forth with at the very beginning was, going on to my previous point, we really wanted to reduce those barriers to entry to $10. And in order to do this, it means that we had to create an ecosystem whereby as many people can invest for as little price as possible. So we looked around ways whereby we can sort of register or sort of make a way whereby we can have the real estate assets themselves, and we can find a way to offer them to as many people. So what we've done is we've actually identified in Wyoming is a very crypto friendly zone, and in Wyoming we're actually able to register as a DAO LLC. And this DAO LLC can have an unlimited amount of people. So we've allowed this DAO LLC to be the owner of the actual real estate property itself. And through this DAO LLC, people can buy tokens, which we've identified as ERC 1155 tokens. These tokens will allow you to be a stakeholder of that property itself. So because typically in Dubai to register an LLC, they have a limit of 100 users. And if you have a limit of 100 users, it means that you can't invest in a property with as little as $10. But actually by doing it in Wyoming, we've been able to actually extend the amount of people that can be a part of that DAO LLC, thus being able to also reduce the barriers of entry to as little as $10 as well.
And can you explain us how does the whole smart contract works on Wakaru? I mean, what is the logistics? How does a user who comes on the platform, how will he know that his tokens have been used for which particular asset to buy? How does that whole transparency comes into picture?
Yeah, 110%. So we've decided to use ERC 721 tokens. Previously, what we've seen in the market is people have used ERC 20 tokens. The reason we decided to use ERC 721 is for further secondary marketplace liquidity. So by using these ERC 721 tokens, we're able to actually use our tokens and actually offer them on other open marketplaces such as OpenSea, such as Magic Eden, further allowing our community to actually trade and gain a further exposure for their assets. So to break it down, ERC 721 is essentially just a smart contract similar to an NFT, but actually allows you multiple different types of that NFT, which for our scenario of real estate tokenization is perfect, because we're going to have essentially many different types of these tokens to represent your ownership stake of the property.
And I mean, we have seen specifically in real estate, it takes months if not years to process the paperwork, and it's a long process where you have to go to multiple things.
100%.
How are you trying to resolve this problem by your platform?
Exactly. So with our platform, we're going to be building on Polygon blockchain, and essentially this takes 2 seconds block time to actually settle a transaction. This essentially means you can go on our platform and essentially be a real estate token holder in a matter of 2 seconds. This is through blockchain technology, and everything will be transparent as well. So you can go onto the platform, you can buy your stake in a property, and less than 2 seconds later, you'll be able to view on a blockchain explorer such as Polyscan the full transparency when you purchase the token, how much you purchased the token for. Everything will be visible.
And I mean, just a question out of curiosity, Ezra, this whole RW concept, when did it started? And I mean, I think people have been trying to do it, but they have not been able to do it successfully. And why do you think RWA will lead the next bull run? What are your, and obviously this is not a financial advice, but this is just to understand from somebody who is doing RWA project.
100%. I believe it will lead the next bull run, because I think the difference between this bull run and previous bull runs is the amount of institutional companies that are now sort of getting involved in the space. Of course, we've seen institutions such as BlackRock filing for the ETF applications, but in addition to real world asset tokenization, we've got banks such as HSBC now getting involved. They're now specifically identifying the trends actively releasing reports out to the community, out to the public about their projections for this market. I believe the current sort of projection is by 2030 it will be $1 trillion market. So the signs are there, and in addition to the signs, there's active factual research to back up how lucrative this market could be. So if I was you, I would definitely get involved.
Not a financial advisor.
Yeah, not at all, no.
And Ezra, your background has also been into security.
Yeah,
exactly. in cyber security.
Yeah.
So how are ensuring that Wakaru is cyber secure? And we have heard hundreds of cases, and as we move towards bull run, we'll start hearing more cases of 100%. People losing money in crypto. As a cyber security expert, what have you put on Wakaru to make that sure that doesn't happen on your platforms?
Yeah, most definitely. So security has been a paramount concern for us. We've ensured every single sort of smart contract that we've created has been rigorously tested in-house and out-house as well. So of course we've performed manual tests, we've performed automatic tests, but in addition we believe in order to get another perspective, we've also hired third parties to actually double check our code. To go even a step further, as part of our tokenomics, we've highlighted a proportion of our tokenomics that will actually go to any individual that can find any sort of security failures or vulnerabilities within our code, and they will be rewarded with a bounty as well.
Interesting. And I mean, the next question is, RW is picking up, and we all anticipate that RWA, and in fact RW and Gamify are two categories which a lot of people have been saying that this will lead the next bull run. But there is a lot of awareness which needs to be created about RWA. So how are you guys, or what is your opinion on tackling this awareness problem with masses about RWA?
Yeah, 100%. And then we've actually actively identified this as a company as well. And what we've decided is probably the best way is we actually start launching a webinar series, which will be a 6-week webinar series, which will be completely free as well, because we understand people are probably very interested in the topic but might not have the financial means. So we've basically launched a course whereby we will explain real-world asset tokenization. In addition to real-world asset tokenization, we will explain from the very base level how to get involved in the Web3 ecosystem, whether this is installing a wallet such as MetaMask, whether this is navigating the actual ecosystem, switching between different networks. All of this will be covered in the course syllabus.
Amazing. So that's something which is needed, because RW, as it will pick up, a lot of people would like to know what is RW, and I'm sure that a lot of people will make certain mistakes, but try to avoid mistakes as possible.
100%.
Again, I'll come back to one of my favorite questions which I ask everyone is, how do you see the whole regulatory environment around RWA? What are the challenges which you guys have been seeing, because building this project you have been talking to real estate developers as well. What are certain challenges which you are seeing currently?
100%. So I believe the main sort of thing that we struggled with in the past was actually managing how these actual assets will be stored, and what sort of legal sort of structure that we could use to incorporate the real estate properties itself. That is particularly why we started in Dubai, because it seems like their crypto laws are more friendly than Europe at the moment. Of course, we've seen Europe will be introducing regulations such as MiCA in 2024, which will be the first sort of crypto regulation in Europe that actually outlines things specifically. But we believe at this current stage, Dubai is actually the best landscape for us to explore from a regulatory perspective.
And when you talk about these regulatory compliances, while you are talking to these real estate companies, are they able to understand what is blockchain, or do you have to first educate them about blockchain and then talk about RWA?
Exactly. So for a lot of the companies that we've spoken to, it would be their first time dealing with a blockchain company. Many of them haven't actually delved into the sector themselves. However, the partnership we have with them means that they don't directly have to deal with blockchain technology itself. They can simply continue to list the properties available on a portfolio, and we will actually handle the selling and of the property itself. And then after the process of the acquisition of the property, that's when we can process the funds to the real estate giants. And at the moment, they will be dealing completely with fiat currency. So everything will be covered by us in terms of the transfer of the funds from blockchain and stable coins into fiat currency.
So that's a win-win situation for them because they don't have to do anything to the technology.
Exactly.
Interesting. And I mean, and how are you seeing? You mentioned about institutes moving towards cryptocurrency, and we all have seen BlackRock. We have been seeing JP Morgan talk about it. Do you anticipate these big players getting into real-world assets as well in this pull down, or probably in the future?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have seen JP Morgan have their own blockchain Onyx, and then they've also released their own coin, JPM coin. I do believe they will get involved with RWA, and the reason I believe that is it's not atypical to what they already do with their current financial structures. For example, they have derivatives, which is essentially, if you think about it, just another form of RWA, because derivatives are just assets, are just different types of assets which they've increased the liquidity by offering them in a different form. So when you think about it, this is essentially all RWA is. It's taking assets that already exist in real life and further increasing the liquidity of them by putting them in another ecosystem. So it is their bread and butter, and I do believe they probably will be getting involved.
Amazing, Ezra, and it was really nice talking to you about the future of Wakaru, the future of RWA. Anything else which you would like to talk to about you or about the whole category to our audiences here?
To be honest, no, I've got nothing else for me, to be honest. But what would you say is the future for Voice of Crypto?
Voice of Crypto future is decentralized media, and I think that's what you're trying to achieve, giving media power to everyone. So anyone and everyone can create content, and they can go up. I mean, people can listen to it.
Amazing.
But thank you for coming on the podcast and for us, Ezra, and we wish you all the best for the future of RWA. And those who are watching this video or listening to this podcast, guys, keep following us, and we'll be back next week with a new interesting guest, with new stories and with new learnings from here. Till then, keep following Voice of Crypto.
All right, cheers guys, thanks for having me.